UFO Bros.
Hey everyone, it's Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens, and you're experiencing UFO Bros TV.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Emmett.
I'm Joe.
And we are the UFO Bros. And we're coming at you live. We're in the facility. Very purpley today, and we're excited to be here.
Exciting, Robotnik.
Yes. And also, welcome everybody on Spreaker. We
Spreaker.
Did not realize that
We didn't speak about it, did we?
had an issue getting some of our most recent podcasts uploaded, so we got that taken care of. So if you follow us on YouTube or whatever, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe on iTunes, and so you'll be able to get like some of the most recent podcasts, which have been pretty interesting that we've been covering. And as promised, we're trying to make sure we're bringing you guys some cool stuff. We scour the web all the time for any kind of like cool UFO news,
Or talk to our close people that we constantly are in touch with and get different information, disclosure if it were.
Yes.
Some.
I feel like our camera's off. Do we need to? Yeah. Here, come on over, Joe. There we go. Hi. Thank you. See, we're out a producer today, so Joe and I are kind of doing everything. We're talking, we're showing the videos, all that good stuff. This is, by the way, a really cool software.
You're out of Jesus juice.
Yes.
There you go. Put your Jesus
For those of you that
away.
are podcasters and you guys want to do video podcasts, check out Mimo Live. I'm just giving
Mimo Live, shout out.
Just giving them a shout out.
Easy.
Because it's really cool and
How they made the software and how everything's integrated, it's amazing.
yeah, it makes
This
it
is our
easy.
favorite software.
Yes, favorite software. So we're covering some cool stuff today. We're going to show you what we think. Well, maybe we don't know. We're just wondering if it's like possibly the best UFO picture ever, because I've always been trying to find one that's like legit or clear or at least recent. And so
sometimes the recency of these so-called documents or photos or interviews, it just all gets circled into the same loop.
Yeah.
It's like that. What's that one movie, National Lampoon's European Vacation, when they're in that round of loop and they just keep going around and they can't. That's what it is.
Pretty much. It's the same stuff, and we gotta find it. There's like a image going around, and it basically is a list of all of the disinformation channels on YouTube. You guys gotta find that. We'll put it on our Facebook. If you're not on our Facebook, it's facebook.com/UFO Bros TV. Same with Instagram if you're not following us. So make sure you are. We're gonna get to the content already, but just to be sure, just so that you don't forget, and we're just reminding you, Joe.
Remind them.
The subscribe button is.
Subscribe me.
It's right there. Subscribe. Click the bell. Get the notification.
Get out of my face.
We're going to start checking the chat room here in just a minute. But before we get into that...
Get out of my face. See, look.
Before we get into that, we've actually reached over 200 subscribers on our YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys. Amazing. We love you all.
We do.
So
make sure you subscribe, click the bell, all that good stuff. So let's get to this. Let's get to this really cool picture. I'm going to show this to you right now. And it's rather interesting. So this is I'm going to show you 3 different pictures I have of this craft. What do you think, Joe?
It's the Navigator.
Flight of the Navigator.
Maybe that movie wasn't so far off.
Maybe. So check this out. This is actually a picture from 2007, and I guess it has been making the rounds in the UFO community. I guess the person that took him has a pseudonym named Keith Bradshaw, who says he was out in the desert near the Naval Air Weapons Station, China Lake in California, after being told about the craft by a friend. What does that mean? So it must have been there more than once, or
probably. I don't know that.
I don't know.
That's very shiny.
It is, and so, but this is what he says about it.
Oh my God! Looks just like, look at that. Looks like Flight Navigator right there.
Yeah. He says this thing would wobble along close to the ground, very unstable, and that's actually consistent with the sorts of things that Bob Lazar describes when he talks about kind of how their navigation system works and their propulsion works.
Wow.
Here's another picture you can see here. There's a helicopter.
And above it, just flying over it. You can actually see the shadow on the ground of the spacecraft. So that is actually like not fakery. That's an actual shadow.
So I guess, I mean, so this is just some more about, like, he said it would be unstable near the ground, and he also said that it would freeze in position, go up to a certain height, and then sit there for a few minutes perfectly still. It made no noise, and that's also consistent with pretty much all the other UFO accounts of real UFOs.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why in that picture it's like they're out in the middle of nowhere, like Joshua Tree it looks like, and just all of a sudden there's a silver thing that just shows up. Where is this at again?
So I'm just gonna show this other picture here. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Sorry, what was your question?
Where's this at?
Oh, this is in basically a
California
Navy base
desert.
in California desert.
Yeah, that's probably one of their.
It was called the Naval Air Weapons Station, China Lake in California.
Oh wow! I wonder if that thing was China made.
What?
That's why it's wobbling.
Oh, I will not participate in that sort of speak.
I'm just saying. No offense.
So, what do you guys think? Huh? We're gonna hop into the chat rooms here in just a second and say hey, but let's just look through these again. Look at this.
They're pictures of a silver thing in the sky.
Yeah, but look at that.
See, look right below it. See the darkness? That is a shadow of the craft. So that cannot be like forged fake injury.
I don't know. I think they're pretty cool. Definitely like an interesting article. I could only find I could really only find a few things interesting, and that was just one of them that I happened to find. And we're going to get into a really interesting interview with Luis Elizondo that he had. And the International UFO Conference shared it recently on their YouTube. And so we just Joe and I watched it together, and we broke down the interview into a few clips of things that we thought were interesting that he said. And so we're going to show that to you guys here in just a minute. But let's go in the chat room. Yeah, we don't have anybody in the chat room on Spreaker, but it's been a while, so hopefully they'll come back. And
YouTube.
We're going to go over
Check
here on
the
YouTube.
YouTubes.
Yeah, look, we've got a few people watching. Hello, 3 people.
Hi.
Yes.
Heck hello.
Yes. By the way, we have recently gotten a new patron on our Patreon page. And we just wanted to say thank you to our new guy here. We're going to make sure we get his name right. So we don't have enough patrons, you guys. So please, if you want to support us, make sure you guys check it out. Patreon, patreon.com/UFO Bros TV. So, yes.
Ooh.
So we have Bree Rubes is supporting us. Carla Emery.
Yes, her, of course.
Hysteria 51. And our new guy, Mike Worthington.
And his dog Spot.
Yeah.
That's an inside joke here in Sacramento.
Also, Paul Curtis is always still supporting us, so thank you guys. Your donations helps us pay for the software and the hosting for the audio, just some basic expenses. It helps out, so thank you. And also, anything left over, we try to put towards the next trip. The next trip, Joe. What do you think?
Trip to the Vortex?
Well, we talked about Alien Con, and we also talked about Contact in the Desert. I wish we could have been to the International UFO Conference recently, but there was just too much going on. We were actually doing other things.
Yes.
Other cool things. Yes. I know. But in the chat room,
There's the one.
make sure you guys say hello.
He just said hello to himself.
Yes. So again, anyway, thank you.
Thanks everybody for your follows, your subscriptions, everything. We just love giving you guys great content.
Yes. Well, in our unique way, Joe. Yeah.
As unique as we can get.
Yes. So for those of you on Spreaker, you can check out this live YouTube show so you can see the pictures. So check it out. It's pretty cool.
Man, that Kool-Aid is very sugary.
Sounded like it. It sure sounded like it.
I like Kool-Aid.
All right, so I think it's time to go break down the Luis Elizondo
Let's get to it.
interview. And just kind of as a recap, Luis Elizondo was working at the Department of Defense at an advanced aerial threat program where they basically tracked...
The DOD.
The DOD basically tracked UFOs or things that were not explained or weird things that
they can't identify
pilots
or get certain, hey, oh yeah, that's us, that's China. Okay. Yep. Verification as it was to each military around the world.
Yeah, and they basically were able to break down these, what they call, phenomena or occurrences, and create, I guess, an algorithm of some sort that was able to help them track where they might manifest next and where they typically manifest. Because you'll see here in this interview that nothing is as it seems, and there'll be a clip here in particular. So we're going to kind of just hop into that. Now I can hear this just fine. So here, check this out. This is a question that I was hoping he would answer, but you'll see for yourself. Basically being asked, are these aliens, or what are these phenomena? What are these unidentified crafts that are appearing in our skies? What are they? So we're going to check this out. What's so funny?
It's one of those things, it's like a DeLong thing. We'll get into it, and I'll share my frustration.
Yeah, it's. Check it out.
I think these clouds are looking like
Shut up.
Let's look at the term extraterrestrial. I don't like to use that term very much, but in a definitive way, when you look at the definition of extraterrestrial, it just means beyond terra firma, beyond terrestrial, beyond this thing that we call Earth. The question is, do they come from outer space, inner space, or the space in between? I don't know. I have my own personal opinions about it, but it would be very misleading to give you those opinions, because in the end, we don't have enough data. It would be great if we could point our finger and say, it was the Russians or the Chinese or someone else. The problem is that the data that we've been seeing for a while, and it's so advanced that by now, it is hard enough for us now to replicate our observations with our understanding of quantum mechanics. But for this type of technology to be available when we first started seeing it, I think is beyond improbable. I'm not going to say impossible, but it is really, really, really unlikely. So that leads then to the next question. Well, if it's not ours and it's not theirs, then whose is it? I don't know whose it is. That's why we're asking the hard questions. That's why we did what we did for the last 10 years, and why we need to continue doing what we're doing, because we need to ask those questions. We don't know whose they belong to. We don't know who they are or what they are, but we know that they're real. So I would submit to you that because of that,
there you go.
We need to continue to explore. We need to continue asking the hard questions.
What do you guys think of that?
Oh, that's insane. He said it. He right there. Mr. Kakapupuchin said it. They're real.
Did you say Kakapupuchin for real?
I did say Kakapupuchin. Look like a Kakapupuchin.
Look, there's something wrong with the camera. It's tilting or something.
Oh, don't fix that shit.
This is so unprofessional. We're going to get so many rude comments for this. By the way, our haters are always on us about something. Look, we are adjusting our camera live. Come on, bro. Keep it in frame. There, thank you.
That's right.
Yes, it's fine. Come sit back so we can continue our show for right now.
The View! You're Oprah.
You're crazy. Are you done? Thank you.
done.
Much better. I think I could have cut out a minute and 40 seconds of that and just had the last 5 seconds where he says, I don't know. He has a habit of educating us before he answers.
No, that's the entire ufology department of the scientists and of the DOD and of all the people that have been in it. They don't know. I know, but I can't tell you. That should be it. Are aliens real? I don't know. I do, but I can't tell you.
Well, he goes into, what's the definition of an alien? But I guess...
What's the is he going to start going, what's the definition of real? What's
probably.
The definition of real?
I don't know.
If it's energy forces that make up a thing, then yeah, maybe it's...
No, they're physical crafts.
You need to get punched in the face with doo-doo chin.
Well, okay, so look, speaking of that, are they a threat? That's the whole point of the program in the first place, is to like explore these unidentified craft and figure out like, are they a threat or not?
Like the LA invasion.
Right. Battle of Los Angeles.
That's where they got
In the 40s.
was that Mars movie?
No, there was a movie called Battle of Los Angeles, but
Yeah.
it is, done very Hollywood style. But anyway, I want to get back to Luis Elizondo in this next clip here, which listen very carefully to how he describes the phenomena, and he uses an interesting analogy, and so that just is a really cool thing. So you guys go ahead and check this next clip out.
So, no outward aggression, but please allow me a moment to provide you a very a rudimentary analogy. I've used it before, but I think it's fitting. So, I think most people, not all, but most people would agree that locking your front door is probably a good idea to do before you go to bed at night. So most people do, and it's not that they expect something bad to happen, but we do it as a precaution. And so imagine every night now you lock your front door, you go ahead and you secure your windows, and you lock your windows, and then right before you go to bed, you go to your keypad, you punch in your keypad, and now your house, the alarm is armed, and everything is secure. But for some reason, every morning you wake up, you go downstairs to have your coffee, you look in your living room, and there's muddy boot prints in your living room, and they're not your boot prints. Now, nothing's been taken from your house, no one's been injured or harmed, and nothing is out of place. And yet, here you go every night, locking your front doors, you secure your windows, and you turn on your alarm, and yet still these muddy boot prints continue to show up day after day. So the question is, how do they get there? The question is it a threat? Well, I think you have to presume it could be a threat until you're sure it's not a threat. And that was my job when I was in the Department of Defense, was to make sure things were not a threat. And until I could prove they were not, I had to make the presumption that they could be.
So there's actually obviously a lot more to it than that. So I definitely recommend you check out the International UFO Conference channel so you can get the whole interview. But
that just irritated me.
What's that?
Basically, he's going around the bush. You see, he was saying you can lock your windows, your doors, set a code, put dogs in there.
You better hide your kid. You better hide your. Oh.
You know, no matter what, those muddy food prints are going to show up.
And just to be sure,
basically, hold on, shut the hell up.
He said muddy though, right?
Yes,
with an
muddy,
M,
muddy,
not with a B.
Muddy.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
Basically, he's saying no matter what you do, they're gonna come. They're gonna show up in your living room. They're gonna spy at you at night.
Well, so basically, he's saying that they leave evidence of their appearance, but we don't know where it's coming from. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of theories.
Why can't he just say that? That was wasted like 3 minutes of my life. When he could just say that.
I know, that's why I keep saying is that you could like go all the way down to the very end and cut like the last, like just leave the last 30 seconds of those interview clips and you get your answer. So there's a lot of other questions that he gets asked there, but that's really about like credentials and, you know, a little bit more about what he does. So make sure you check that out because all the credit goes to them and of course to the Stars Academy.
Stars Academy, the DeLong gang. The DeLong gang.
Exactly.
The DeLong gang.
I don't know. Let's go back in the...
No.
Oh, Carla. Hey, Carla. I know, right?
She's laughing her butt off.
We like Carla. Hey, Carla. She's also on Spreaker, by the way. If you're not, make sure you follow us. Always follow. Always,
Carla, our number one. She's
been our supporter for over a year now. She's been there since the first.
That's the reason why if she'll always be our number one.
She'll always be our number one. So just one more time, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you are subscribed to us on iTunes, all that good stuff. Like we said, we're trying to weed out the crap as much as we can and get to anything that seems to be valuable.
Or legit.
Yeah, and also
try to
show it in a way that, so if you're new to this, you know, make sure it's okay. You could be a ufologist now. You know, you can come in and, you know, check out what's online and listen to what we're doing and read your books and all that good stuff and share it with your friends and bring it up in conversation. Tell them about it. Maybe show them those clips of this gentleman that Joe calls
Cock-a-doodle face. Oh no, a cock-a-doodle chin.
You're like
Cock-a-doodle chin.
with like the tattoos. He reminds me of Popeye, kind of a little bit.
He's a cock-a-doodle chin. He's got that white, that white dog poop on his chin.
I don't know.
Watch him meet him one day.
No, look,
Watch him one day. I'll meet him and he'll go cock-a-poo-poo chin, huh?
He kind of looks like Popeye, the Sailor Man.
Oh, but it's gonna be me. All right.
Okay. Well, we're going to go now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for subscribing in. I'm Emmett.
I'm Joe.
And what do you know? We are the UFO
Bros. Check
Bros.
us on everything social media.
Yes, please. We'll see you guys
description.
next time. But we're going to leave you with a fun video from one of our most favorite movies ever. But we're not going to tell you what it is. Leave it in the comments if you know what movie this is from. So, all right, check this out, you guys. We're gonna leave you now.